I have never had some kind of ambition to be anybody. I just fell into these things.
So McDonald's,
In McDonald's, and then I actually worked in restaurants, worked for a group of restaurants, which is no longer in existence. So I worked at the Hard Rock, and then I left the Hard Rock and I set up my own business.
wow.
My first business with my stepmother, actually. And that was a wine and cheese shop.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it was called Foodies
Okay.
before Foodies became a word.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Foodies, Granbury. Yeah. Before,
Yeah. Nobody would.
people talk, oh, you're a foodie, you're a foodie. But that was before all that. So we called it Foodies. And, did that for a couple of years. And then one of my friends knew her brother-in-law's sister or something, or brother, her brother-in-law's brother, ran a Porsche dealership in London.
Okay.
And he was looking for someone to work at the motor show for about 2 or 3 weeks in London at Earl's Court, because it wasn't really Porsche. They were bringing in this sort of upgraded Porsches. It's called Rinspeed, It's called Rinspeed, a Swiss company. And they couldn't put it on the Porsche stand because it wasn't official Porsche. So they did this secondary thing.
Got it.
And I worked there for about 3 weeks. My first car sale, my first real proper sale, believe it or not, was to the Sultan of Brunei.
Unbelievable.
There you go. And he said, it wasn't him, his man came and said, right, I'd like to buy that. Okay. I said, would you like to pay a deposit? He said, look, my money is my word. And then he took the car straight away.
Wow.
Went straight to Heathrow Airport and back to Brunei. But that was the first sale. Yeah, so yeah, I'm going to car sales. I've always been very, very fortunate. So I worked at McDonald's, one of the first people. I worked at the Hard Rock Cafe, one of the first people to do that. And then I worked in car sales, and I worked at like the best London dealership, one of the biggest Porsche dealers in the world.
And was there any thought or plan, I need to go into a good dealership? Or you just fell into everything?
I just fell into everything I've ever done. I've fallen into.
Wow.
That's another thing. I was talking to someone about this recently. I have never had some kind of ambition to be anybody. Yeah. I just fell into these things. Yeah.
Yeah. But maybe you're kind of open to these things because of the way your mind works. Like,
yeah,
you're not closing down opportunities.
Yeah.
You're kind of...
I think you're probably taking risk. Or probably actually also even, I think to a lot of extent, it's probably just, I didn't really know what I wanted to do.
Yeah. I can relate. There's a lot of people can.
Yeah, and I didn't have a plan.
Yeah.
So when people came up to me and said, do you want to go and sell Porsches?
Need something to do.
I had to get a friend, a girl,
Yeah.
to drive me around London to show me what Porsches looked like that were parked up, because I had no idea. Oh, that's a 911. Okay. And what's that? Oh, that's a 924. That's a 944. Oh, the engine's at the front, or the engine's at the back. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And I went from Porsches to selling Bentleys and Rolls Royces.
And then just develop a passion for cars and...
Again, yes. I mean, I'm going to go back to property. I read about property all the time. I look at brochures. I look at floor plans. I look at prices. I look at WhatsApp groups. So I'm really studying my craft. And when it's as far as cars, yes. Today, I've got very little interest. But am I passionate about? I was passionate about cars at the time you're in. So you come to me and say, "Oh, I'm driving X car." I would know all about that car. Oh, that's an old 60. Oh, well, this one is better than that. Yeah, I know all that. I read all the magazines. Autocar magazine probably didn't exist. Yeah. And also, people think I look a bit like Jeremy Clarkson.
Nice.
I don't know if they do, but there we go. Somebody once told me, because my hair was a bit wild, I looked a bit like Jeremy Clarkson. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so then, so car sales, obviously, I believe you sold a car to someone who had business in Dubai. Is that right?
I sold a car to an Indian student, who lived in Dubai, who came from an extremely wealthy family, and he bought a car from me. And then the next year to 2 years, he just said, "Look, I'm setting up this car dealership in Dubai. You need to come and work for me." All right, then Yeah, I'm happy. I working Bentley in Mayfair. Yeah, I mean, the GT's coming and I'm going to make loads of money, and so that. And then a few things happened in my personal life. And I thought, okay. And he said, come to Dubai for one weekend. And
2003.
in 2003, yeah, I came here in August, and I think about May 2003, maybe even earlier. I came and spent a long weekend. He put me in the Emirates Towers, and I thought, this is all right. And then he said he's going to pay me X amount of money, and I got it fixed to sterling. So that was very good.
Okay.
And yeah, I came over. And then I started working for him. And then unfortunately, he was killed in a car crash. And so his business was dissolved, or at least it passed to other members of the family that didn't really want me working for them. And then I met two ladies through a guy that I'd sold a Bentley to in London, who was living here. And he knew these ladies who were setting up a real estate company. He said, oh, you should go and talk to them. I had an interview with Damac.
Wow.
And first of all, because some other guy told me I should go and work for Damac. So
I can't imagine Damac back in those.
It was in Shakeside Road. It was a small office. The owner was in one office. I can't remember the name of the guy that used to run Damac. He's quite famous. He was there for many years. And then I got interviewed by this lady, and I think she asked me to take an English test. And I thought, I'm not sure that's really the company for me. You don't really get me if you need me to take an English test. So, yeah, and then I met these two ladies, Helen and Pauline, who were setting up Dubai luxury homes.
Wow.
And the rest is history.
And getting into it now, so you sit down day one and you're like, right, where do we start? What was your first few days, first few weeks like back in those days?
So we're talking about a time when people were buying property to flip.
Yeah.
They were putting 5%, 10% down, and then just
within a couple of crazy times.
I was selling like 10, 20 properties a month. It was all over the phone. We didn't really have the internet. We were advertising in newspapers, the Gulf News. It was about that thick. There were about 4 supplements, all to do with property, one for cars and the rest were property. And yeah, just, I don't know. We got involved in certain developers, and we were telling, this is amazing, etc. We were shipping brochures by couriers back to the UK. Everything was done very manually. Didn't have Google Maps, couldn't have Waze. We were looking at maps.
Yeah.
The marina was just being.
And where were you mainly selling?
Marina, Dubai Marina.
Yeah.
Was a lot of business was
JBR
being done.
Marina.
Sorry?
JBR was a bit later, right?
No, JBR was first. We missed JBR and the Palm really to an extent because that was pretty much tied up. So no, we were doing shorelines and the Golden Mile, but Marina mostly. We concentrated on that. That was the only. JLT didn't exist. JVC came in a bit later. Arabian Ranches then. We were selling quite a bit in Arabian Ranches.
Got it. And the buyers were from?
Mostly UK.
UK?
We were a British real estate company.
Yeah.
So I would say most of my clients from the UK, quite a few Iranians.
And they were happy to buy off plan in those days because, from the UK,
everybody was making money.
Yeah.
Build it and they will come. Literally, flipping properties was the strategy for most.
Did you say flipping? What sort of percentages and what time frames were we talking about?
Buy property on a Monday, pay your 10% or 5%. Yeah. And the following week or 2 weeks later, you get a 5 or 10% premium, and then you just get out of it.
Wow.
That's how it was. We're talking
property value, not on the amount that you've paid. So
no, on the property value. So you were doubling your money.
You've doubled it.
Doubled your money. Yeah.
Wow.
It was wild. Absolutely wild. Because there was FOMO. Everybody was, launches were happening. They were happening and selling out immediately, and then you could. You could sell a ticket for a queuing place. So there were labourers going down to Email. They were queuing up, getting to the front, getting a token, and then going to the back of the queue and selling it for 10 or 20,000 dirhams.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Madness.
And that was personally invested?
Not sustainable. Yeah. Not one of them got built.
Okay. Good.
Yeah,
hopefully.
But the thing is, It was a time where I think everything was going crazy. Was it the Thatcher years? I think the Thatcher years as well, wasn't it? Or maybe it was post-Thatcher.
No, it was post-Thatcher.
Yeah. But it was just everything you did. It was just, it was making so much. Everybody was making money. And then Shearson, Lehman.
Yeah.
Lehman Brothers went pop.
Yeah.
And it also,
And how was it? Did you really feel it like almost the next day? Was it so sudden here?
no.
So you kind of saw it coming from a distance? Or
So that happened, what was it, October and November in 2008,
Was
something like that. I remember Springs 3M selling for $3.5 million, $1 million. And we're going like, that doesn't make sense. And I wasn't selling anything in 2008 because it just didn't make any sense because those prices were crazy. And I couldn't tell someone, I think you should buy this, because I didn't see any future in it. Honestly, we weren't.
not the people here to occupy?
No, it wasn't that. It was just the prices were mad. Again, a 3M originally was 800,000 dirhams or 900,000 dirhams 2 years previously. And now it was selling for 3.5 million.
Yeah.
I remember Paul Sharland sold the first 4E, Type 4E, which is a 2-bed plus study on the lake, corner plot. It was a big plot, and he sold it just over $1 million dirhams. What's that worth today? Is that 2.5, 3 million?
More, I think.
But they were going crazy. I don't know how much a 4E is now, but I imagine it's probably 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was that price, but almost immediately.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was a complete crazy time. But we didn't know it. We didn't think it was. We didn't think it was going to stop. We thought it was going to last forever. But at the same time, so to answer your question, when did I see a slowdown? It was a very abrupt slowdown when Lehman's went. But I think leading up to that, few months before, I think a lot of people were saying it's too expensive. Yeah. And of course, anybody that bought then, they lost their gain. Look at the people who bought and sold in the palm. Probably 80% of them have made huge amounts of money. 20% of them are lost.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's crazy
times.
And so at that point, were you like, what am I going to do now? How did you deal with that mentally? Did you have savings?
I had some savings.
Okay.
I had quite a lifestyle.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
I've heard.
What?
I heard about those times.
Mad. Yeah. So I had some savings, and when it happened, I decided to, I went into rentals. Okay. So there was a building in DIFC, across the road from DIFC. What's it called?
Bergman?
No, next door to Bergman. What's that building called?
I don't know it.
Anyway, I sat in the lobby there and I did rentals, and I was Sky Gardens. Yeah, Sky Gardens. So I sat in there, and funnily enough, Better Homes had like half the building, and then some bank had the other half, and they were selling, etc. So we would split commissions with Better Homes, and I would sit in the lobby and I was just renting loans, just sat there. I made a living. I thought, all right, that's enough of this. And I went off and lived in Thailand. I sold everything. Sold all my cars. Got rid of my apartment. Sold all my apartment, my 5-bedroom villa. Sold all the furniture. Got rid of all of that. Had like a what's you call it? A boot sale, but
Car boot sale,
but in my house in Barsha. And moved to Thailand and spent 3 months there, and then travelled around the world for a year.
Okay.
Excellent on.
Nice.
And then came back and tried real estate a bit longer. It didn't work because nobody was buying. I couldn't understand people were selling credit notes.
Yeah.
And I didn't quite understand how the
Developers said, like, we're not going to build it.
Yeah.
Take this.
Here's a credit note, go buy something else. Simon Baker did very well after that. He understood because he's a math genius.
Yeah.
And I didn't really get it. So I then went back into the car business.
Right. Oh, here in Dubai.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, a friend of mine introduced me to Porsche in Dubai. I worked in Porsche Dubai, and that was the first or second largest Porsche dealer in the world.
On Tuesday.
The Sheikh Zayed, it was on Sheikh Zayed Road, across the road from the Burj Khalifa. Okay, there was a Tesla showroom. I think now it's Plasti's office now.
Okay.
It's in the Al Nabuda building. So I worked there for about 18 months, 2 years.
Wow.
And did all right.
Yeah.
It was good.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah, loved it. And then I went back to the UK.